It's often very difficult to give a sermon on a bar bat mitzvah morning because Myra and I spent so much time together working on her sermon that it's hard to imagine that there's any other really good Torah to bring out of this week's Parsha. And the message that Myra shared with us this morning is one that I hope people will think about for a long time, one that really reminds us that we need teachers and we need mentors, but that we also are really blessed to be students. And I was blessed to be in both of those roles when working with Myra. My uncle used to have a tradition that on Shabbat, there was someone who had to present a topic for us to discuss as a family. One year, for my birthday, my uncle created forms for everyone to fill out, answering questions like Rebecca's favorite food, Rebecca's best quality, Rebecca's newest hobby. And because the topic that night was me, I had to answer the questions and hear everyone's entertaining answers. Some were sweet, others were silly, and the rest were spot on. One question was, what is Rebecca's favorite sound? I have no recollection of people's responses, but my answer was, and always will be, my dad's voice. I grew up in a household where my dad, the professional musician, would begin all Shabbat dinners at the piano or on guitar, and most days were filled with his voice learning or rehearsing pieces of music around the house. My three brothers and I were gifted with his genes of skill and my mom's family's love for music. I play violin, like Myra. My brothers play drums, piano, bass, and guitar, and our extended family enjoys and is just as talented. I grew up assuming that all families had music as part of their lives, and that the soundtrack of each home was instruments being learned and or played proficiently. But it really is a gift. This week is known, as I mentioned earlier, as Shabbat Shirah, because of the Song of the Sea that is sung as we move from enslaved individuals to a free people. The Song of the Sea is a complicated tune, sharing in the exaltation of God and God's wonders, as well as power and joy in the killing of our enemies. The song's content does not fit its tone or melody in many, quote, traditional cases. Az Yashir Moshe, for one, or Az Yashir Moshe, for another one. However, we sing it daily as a way of remembering our freedom and God's assistance in creating our people. In many communities, Shabbat Shirah is the weekend to bring in musicians, to host a concert, to sing our best arrangements, etc. However, Temple Beth decided last week was a better date on the calendar for our Shabbat Shirah. Hosting and learning and praying and being spiritually uplifted by Chana Raskin in her Raza circles for Kol Tefillah. Chana is a woman who grew up in Crown Heights, deep in the Chabad world and in an observant and large Chabad family. Chana loved shul and learned nigunim, tunes without words, and prayers at the feet of her father, where all the children played and ate candy, while their dads or grandfathers prayed. When Chana got older, she found herself singing the tunes of the men in her family and shul, 770, and relating to them as her prayer experience, inward, not outward. Chana created Raza as a response to that need to sing these nigunim with and in the world, and to share in the spiritual joy that they provide even without words. Chana brought Shabbat Shirah to our community last week, and we are still buzzing from the kavanah, the intentionality, the freedom of prayer that she modeled for us to desire. Miriam, in our Torah, and specifically in this week's Parsha, brings this Song of Sea, the namesake for Shabbat Shirah, to life. She lets Moshe say the words and sing the original tune, but then, V'tikach Miriam hanevi'ah achot Aharon et tof beyada, v'tetzaena kol hanashim achareha betupim uvim cholot. Miriam the prophet, Aaron's sister, picked up a hand drum, and all the women went out after her in dance with their own hand drums. Miriam, like Hannah last weekend, took the initiative to not only sing words of praise, but to feel the words, to feel the prayer, take leadership in expressing our joy through music. Miriam is named here not only as prophet, but as sister. In my home, most of our music was not played alone. As one of four, we rarely did anything alone, but music was something that we craved to do together. Now, violin, drums, and a cello do not always create the best chamber ensemble, but we did make music together. Miriam was proud of her brothers, proud of the song they wrote and sang, and proud of their leadership. So instead of just singing along, she wanted the community to feel their togetherness in joy and pulsing through their dancing bodies. V'ta'an lahem Miriam, shiru ladonai ki ga'o ga'a, sus verochvo rama vayam. And Miriam chanted for them, sing to Adonai, for God has triumphed. Miriam could feel the hesitation. She could feel their desire to return to what was known. But she trusted in her brothers, trusted in God's support, and trusted that the community would come together in joy through music. So she pushed them to sing and to dance more. Chana started her concert on Saturday night here in this sanctuary with a shruti box. Does anybody know what that is? No? Okay, great, I'm gonna tell you. An Indian instrument box that produces tone through hand-pumped air, bellows with adjustable buttons for tuning an improvised nigun. Watching her sing this nigun, it was clear that this was her centering, her kavanah, her intentionality into prayer. We were watching, but did not yet know that we were being prepped for an experience of tefillah, of prayer. We watched her, silence in the room, some people closing their eyes, others enveloped in a spiritual trance without words or prompting, just invitation through voice and volume. The next nigun she sang had everyone up on their feet, singing with her, a tune from the Hasidic world and originally only sung by men. It was powerful, and the most magical part was it was all done through music and singing. No words, no speeches, no directions, just the power of song. This is what Miriam intuitively knew to do. She knew to uplift her brother's message through the comfort and joy of music. She sang and invited others to create music with her and to celebrate this unknown change into freedom, but a powerful move for a people. The Likutei Moharan, the main work for Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, teaches that this verse, V'ta'an lahem Miriam shiru ladonai, spells out shalom. If you take the first letters of each word and unscramble them, Shin, Lamed, Vav, and Mem. Shalom, or Shalem, meaning whole. So Rabbi Nachman is saying that through her voice, the people merited peace. Through her singing, the people felt whole. As Myra, an accomplished musician in her own right, knows, music is a powerful tool to share emotion, to evoke meaning, to perform outside of yourself something you are not confident from inside yourself to put out into the world, and so much more. Music is a language that anyone and everyone can understand, and one that, though we might each experience it differently and individually, it's a powerful tool that brings people together. Miriam knew this, and every morning when we sing the Song of the Sea, we are finishing a portion of prayer, readying ourselves to embark on moments of serious introspection, of request and apology. Using music to enter into that place of acceptance for those big moments ahead is calming and soothing. Myra, this is the part where I give you a blessing, but you can stay seated. I hope you continue to express yourself through music, so that your heart and mind come out powerfully and loudly. You are intelligent and funny and strong-willed and very mature. You might not like standing at the front of the room, but when you share a thought or your violin playing, we all know to listen. You don't like the attention, but you do deserve the praise and the focus of others. So continue creating worlds with your music and your ideas, and share them in ways that will bring you the most joy. My favorite sound is my dad's voice, and that is because I feel calm and loved and inspired when I listen to him. His voice, like Miriam in our Torah and Hannah from Kol Tefillah last weekend, provides joy and reason to continue towards a goal. So on this Shabbat Shira, may we all find our muse, our tune, and our Shira to feel shalem, to feel whole in those things that bring us joy. Shabbat Shalom.